Hello everyone, Jason Yana of Intasia Studio here to show you a quick demo of the HB wall assembly in Revit BIM software environment. This is the beginning screen of Revit before you open a file, so we're just going to open up the XCL assembly. Now, just a quick tour. This is a 3D view. It's a cutaway. It shows a relatively detailed materials. We've got a steel stud backup. We've got dense glass gold, weather-resistant barrier lapped over our flashing, which in this case is textural flash, and we've got an XCL anchor that's already installed. The beauty of Revit is I can look from any angle, floor plan, I can go to my front view, I can go all the way down to a detail, and any changes that I make in any view are going to be made through the entire project. Hello everyone, this is part 2. What we're going to do is go to our 3D view and we're going to show how these objects are parametric, which means that they can be changed very easily without the user really knowing how to do any advanced modeling. So we're going to zoom in on the XCL and we can see that its prongs are sized appropriately, it's attached in the right place. I've chosen to show the continuous wire, which I can turn off if I don't want that seismic wire in there. So what I'm going to do is select my insulation. I'm going to select all of the insulation in the project, and I see that it's a 1-inch thickness. So what I want to do is go to my rigid insulation. Let's say I'm going to change it to 2 inches. So boom, there it goes. It gets a lot thicker, and now what I notice is that my XCL needs to be the proper XCL for that application. So I've provided all of the available sizes of XCL. I'm going to choose the 2-inch and its prongs size appropriately. Now what I do notice is that my airspace hasn't really been adjusted, so I'm going to move into here, into the section. I'm going to grab this handle here. I need to zoom in a little bit. Let's grab this. And right now we've got a 0-inch airspace, which doesn't make any sense, so we're going to change that to 1 inch. We can see that the airspace is adjusted. I'm going to move to a base detail. And now the only thing I'd like to see is I'd like to see if maybe if I change the actual prong depth, I might get a more appropriate. Right now I've got a little bit too much area there, so I'm going to change my Binalock, which is totally parametric and adjustable also. And now we see instantly we've got that object in there properly. Let's go to our 3D view. Now I'm going to select all these again. I'm going to edit the type of them. I'm going to move down, and I see here I've got continuous wire option. Now I've made sure that my continuous wire is going to show up. So let's zoom out to the entire view, and that's an example of how we can very easily adjust the product to be appropriate for the wall system being used. What we've seen so far are three-dimensional tools, which many architects are not going to want to include all this 3D data into their project. So a very useful tool is going to be when they get down to doing their detail, they're not going to want to have this 3D model. So in that case, what we have done is we have provided a 2-dimensional version of the XCL just for drafting purposes only. So I'm going to take this right now and I'm going to hide my 3D version, and I'm going to come down here to detail items, and right here I've got a detail component just for XCL, and I'll grab, say, the one with 2-inch prongs. I'll drag it out into space here, drop it where it needs to be. Let's zoom in on it and we'll adjust it a little bit. Get that vinyl lock right where it needs to be. And now, very quickly, we've just added a detail with X-Seal in it without much effort at all. Also included in this wall system is a textural flash flashing. Let's go down and take a look at that. Now, since we have adjusted some of our elements, really what we want to do is make sure that we've got the right distance to the edge. So I'm going to change that, hit apply, and just to show you a little bit more about detailing, if I click realistic and I wait a second, I can see that now I've applied the view that shows me an actual texture, and we can see our familiar logo, we can see the texture, we can see that there's a termination bar in there which we can actually turn on and off. We can also add a stainless steel drip edge and get rid of the natural drip edge on the flashing. In this case we don't need to. Now we're going to move to a section view again, and let's say that we change our airspace to 1.5 inches. When I come back to my base detail, I see now that my flashing needs to be extended out a bit. All I need to do is say distance to slab edge. We'll say 7.5 inches. We'll say apply. Let's go back to our 3D view. And now we can see that that's in the proper location.